What's up, YouTube? This is a magazine, a 17 magazine, and I guess it's kind of obvious who that is. Actress model Terry Farrell, and this is one of Terry's 17 magazines from 1985 February, and this used to be sold for $1.50. There's all kinds of stuff in these really old school magazines, all kinds of makeup and fashion stuff in the 80s. As a kid, I was a pretty big Dax fan, so I had a bunch of these, 'cause I thought they were pretty cool stuff, you know. Dax being my hero and so forth, yeah, that kind of thing. Alright, so bunch of commercials. Let me see. Oh, so if I remember correctly, yeah, on the cover, Terry Farrell looks like a living doll in pastel shades, photographed by Mark Carzin. More on page 4. Let me see. And there was a article, it looks like, that Terry did or something. 158. Yeah, this is a pretty ancient artifact, I guess. I don't know what you'd call this. Really old magazine from a different era. Oh wow. Are these books? I think. Or are these VCRs? The VCR cassettes. Let's see, they are albums? Oh, this is music, I think. Pick 11 albums for 1 penny. Oh, no, these are cassettes. They're cassette tapes. They're yeah, that's way before the CD. Oh yeah. Woo. That's from long ago. Nicolas Cage acting up a storm. Oh, here we go. Yeah, this is the, is this it? Or was it? Yeah. Alright, so apparently this is a article that Terry did. Terry and, Nicolette Sheridan. This is one of, Terry Farrell's, articles and stuff. And it's titled Act 2. Nicolette and Terry. They're not just paper dolls. First came the modeling for these two knockouts. That was easy. Then came starring roles in their own TV series. That's been the big challenge. Back in her hometown of Cedar Rapids, Iowa, Terry Farrell, 20, is already famous. "You should see it," she says, flashing a grin so hugely happy it swallows the lower half of her face. These little girls come running up, all embarrassed and shy, and say, "Are you Terry Farrell?" And they feel sort of bad because they think they're bothering me, which of course they're not. They're making me feel totally great. If this is as famous as I'll ever get, it'll be enough for me. The fact is, there's a solid chance that Terry Farrell will get even more famous than this. She's already made it to the covers of such magazines as 17, This Issue, Mademoiselle, and Vogue more than 40 times. As if the $2,500 a day modeling career weren't enough, this 6' 1" moose, as Terry used to think of herself, landed as her first acting job a starring role in what was heralded to be the flashiest television series of the 1984 fall season, ABC's Paper Dolls. For those of you who missed the recently canceled weekly extravaganza, Paper Dolls presented an exaggerated view of the highly competitive but also glamorous world of beauty and high fashion. The paper dolls of the title were Nicolette Sheridan, 20, as Tarlene Blake, the jaded teen queen of the modeling scene, and Terry as Lori Caswell, the sweet, fresh newcomer who threatened to dethrone Tarlene. In real life, Terry says she and Nicolette are not professional rivals, but they're not what you'd call the best of friends either. It wasn't that long ago that Terry, real name Teresa Lee Farrell Grusendorf, was one of George Washington Senior High's star basketball players, but by last October 35 million people were watching her sweep around in enough sequins to make a viewer reach for sunglasses. Not bad for a kid who was once so gangly. Her classmates called her the electrocuted string bean. Of course, acting is not all glamour, as any actress will tell you. Terry strolls into the offices of 17 in New York, cheery, but a little bleary. It's a month before her show will be canceled, but she doesn't know that yet. "I'm so exhausted. I fell asleep taking the shower that was supposed to wake me up," she says with a laugh, crossing her eyes in mock fatigue. It's been a rough week. There have been endless pages of dialogue to master, and then there's and then there's been a coastal switch, several dawn to dusk days filming in Los Angeles studios, then zap straight to New York for more dawn to dusk location shots. The day before Terry dropped in at 17, she had been up at 5 a.m. for scenes on the Brooklyn Bridge, followed by 4 hours under raging hot lights while filming at Tavern on the Green, a Shishini restaurant in Central Park. "I think those lights must have fried my brains," moans Terry. What those lights didn't do was fry her feet, which were bare and freezing on the cold, unlit floors. "That's what they do with me," says Terry, in between a couple of sneezes. "They make me wear flats or take my shoes off so I don't tower over everybody else in the scene." and they make everyone around me wear high heels. The women, I mean. Like the character she portrayed, Terry Farrell is energetic, charming, open, and friendly. Continued on next page. And just before I switch over, there's a couple of pictures of Terry and stuff, and it says here, Big Pick Right, taking full advantage of California's rays. Terry Farrell is a standout in her brand new silver sports car. Next stop, New York, top inset, where she talks with 17's articles editor Sarah Crichton. Bottom inset, over a spinach salad lunch, Terry dramatizes her frustration as she tries to memorize her lines. Yeah. And let me see here. Wow, this is going to be a pretty... Wow. Looks like it's going to be a pretty long article, so I might have to do this in several parts. Yeah, it looks like it continues on another page, on a different page. So yeah, I might be doing this in several parts. There is a picture of Terry shopping or doing something. And it looks like a picture of Terry's dog or something. Cat? No, that's a dog. Alright, between the acts. When she hits the New York streets and 70s photographer encourage her to show off, Terry begins to leap along 3rd Avenue. She swings from lampposts, jumps up and down, strides forward and backward, and the photographer keeps clicking, and Terry keeps grinning, and ordinarily blazed New Yorkers line up to watch this loose-limbed beauty literally stop traffic. "It's Brooke Shields, right?" they call out. "Hey Brooke, look over here," hollers an enthusiastic cabbie who's practically falling out of his window. Terry just keeps bouncing and grinning with her thick, glossy brown hair, startlingly blue eyes under heavy eyebrows and lanky frame. It's easy to see how people get her confused with the other model actress some days. Terry confides, "This Brooke Shields thing gets to me, and I just want to go, leave me alone." She throws her hands up in front of her as if to hide. "But really," she says with a philosophical shrug, "it's not so bad. I'd sure rather look like her than like a lot of other people." And I'm just going to pause there, and since this is a real long article, and I will be back.